In the time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And brothers and sisters, whether we chose to or not, we are in a revolution. The revolution has begun, and we can either sit it out or participate in it. Because the world is looking to see whether the United States has become yet another banana republic, or whether it will retain its identity as the beacon of liberty to the free world, the nation to whom all nations look, the defender of freedom, the rescuer of the oppressed. Or have we become like a third world country, determined by middle of the night buckets of ballots and manipulated computer software? Well, we hang in the balance right now. Because as you can see, we, the church, are part of a nation that right now is as divided as it has been since 1860. There was another moment that it was as divided. That was 1776. And whether one wanted to or not, one at that point, 1776, 1775 actually, and 1860, whether you wanted to or not, the church, believers, were forced by circumstance to choose sides. And while it would be lovely to be able to say the church is above petty politics and issues that are about the world, we may not be of the world, but we are squarely in the world. And we are citizens of a fractured and bitterly divided nation. So bitterly, how bitterly divided are you, you may ask? So bitterly divided that couples are divided. This is a great example. But nonetheless, sons and daughters pitted against fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters against brothers and sisters, grandchildren against grandparents, aunts and uncles against nieces and nephews. We are a nation that is not only divided, but we are a nation in crisis. And as citizens of that nation, while we are the church and we must retain perspective, we'll talk about that momentarily, we share in our national crisis. But we must, as usual, turn to the Word of God, which we shall do in a moment. But first, let's reiterate some of what I had written last week before the election, because it's a good reminder that our hope is in the gospel of Messiah. Our hope is not in the world's political parties or ideologies. We do not find our hope in capitalism or in a republic or in democracy or socialism or monarchy or any other form of government, any party or any ideology. Our hope is certainly not in a specific political party, the Republicans or the Democrats, or candidate, President Trump, Vice President Biden. They are not our hope. They are not the source of our hope. If our hope is in either one of those men, we shall be sorely disappointed, and our lives further askew than our nation already is. However, but our God-given responsibility as American citizens is to diligently analyze and identify platforms and positions that best reflect biblical truth. There is no political party platform that completely and utterly reflects biblical truth. They can only best reflect and model biblical truth. And we have voted for those candidates who will best act to preserve the morality of our culture and protect our God-given liberties. Those candidates need not be paragons of biblical virtue, whose lives reflect perfection, in order to successfully act to preserve the morality of our culture and protect our God-given liberties. There is only one perfect man, and he was not on the ballot. Once we have voted, however, as we have we exhausted our God-given responsibility as American believers? Some of us would like to place ourselves above not only party and ideology, but national identification. We are citizens of the kingdom of heaven. This world is not our home, and so we place ourselves above the petty frays and squabbles of national politics. That, my friends, is an untenable position, and one that cannot long endure in a nation such as ours. We are not just believers, citizens of heaven. We are also citizens of our nation. We're not world citizens. We are citizens of America. So we have dual passports. Citizenship in heaven, yes, but citizenship here in America as well. And with our citizenship here, we are believers, but the believers have an adjective modifying it: American believers. So my question, and we'll leave it hanging for a little while, are there additional components to our calling that are specific to our being citizens of our republic?